there, Dooley Godot here with you once again with the weather forecast. And we're going to be talking about the forecast coming up for the next couple days. We're going to take a look at the severe weather, a snowstorm, and a very large fire to talk about. But our city of the day is going to be Portland, Maine. And what we're doing is looking out over the headwaters from Portland, Maine, from the lighthouse out there. That's where this camera is located. It's 53 degrees right now under cloudy skies across Portland, Maine. And this just makes me want a lobster really bad. And I'm hungry, and I think that's what I might want to get for supper today is some seafood, especially looking out over that scene out there across our city of the day, Portland, Maine. All right, so let's move on with our forecast. And also, before we do that, remember to leave your likes, your comments, and share the channel. And you can subscribe right here for these daily weather forecasts, right? And let's move on to our national radar because we have a lot to look at today. Okay, here we are taking a look at the national radar. As I said, whole lot to see here. There's a very busy day out there. And here across the northern plains and the upper Midwest, we're dealing with a lot of showers and storms embedded into that mess today, as we have a very complex weather system moving across the center of the nation, and it's got several facets to it. This area of severe weather across the northern plains and the upper Midwest. Then we have this area from some warm fronts out here across the northeast that's going to be spreading some showers and thunderstorms today, as we see this going on across the big cities today, as well as Pennsylvania and parts of Ohio. We're seeing that severe weather taking place right now as we got these thunderstorms out there. We got some thunderstorms down here in Florida right now that we're seeing there across the southern half of Florida. We got this stuff going on here across Missouri and southern Iowa through Illinois. So we're going to be seeing these thunderstorms move off to the east-northeast. We got snow to talk about, and lots of it here across Colorado and Denver, and to the north of that into Wyoming. We're going to be dealing with some heavy snow over into Idaho and Montana as well. We're also seeing that heavy snow here across North Dakota and South Dakota. We're going to see some of that snow as well, and maybe a little bit of it might even clip far western Minnesota, far northwestern Minnesota. So we have a lot of wet weather out here, a lot of storminess going on, a lot of snow, even thunder snow is going to be possible in some of this. And then we have a big fire down here in New Mexico. The Hermit and Calf fire we have burning right here, and what you see there is the actual smoke plume from the fire burning in the canyons down there in New Mexico. So we have that going on. Red flags here across the desert southwest today through Texas, New Mexico, and into Arizona. So there's a lot going on this map. So let's move on with the rest of our weather forecast. All right, here we are with the rest of our weather forecast, and we're going to be talking about our watches and hazards that's taking place right now. And here across the northern tier of the nation, this is a freeze warning, freeze watch here. So we got very cold conditions up here where temperatures have dropped into the upper 20s to lower 30s here. So we're going to be seeing that as well. Winter storm warnings here across Colorado as well as over into Idaho there. We're seeing a lot of wintry weather. And we got winter weather advisory across Montana as well as into Idaho. We got a lot of wind warnings as well mixed in all of this. So this is just a mixed bag of wintry mess up here across the northern plains. We have our red flag warning down here through Arizona, New Mexico, as well as west central Texas. We're going to be seeing our red flag warning here. Now, the good news about this is that it's going to start to cool down a little bit here across the southwest because of the northerly flow coming from our storm system just to the north of it through the central Rockies here. So this is going to influence this, but it's going to increase the wind in doing so and cooling things down slightly. You're not going to get any much needed precipitation, but you will get a change in the wind direction, but the winds will pick up, but it's going to be slightly cooler, so that can help and exacerbate the fire situation at the same time because it's not going to be as hot for the firefighters out there, but you will have to contend with high winds fanning the flames, okay? So that is going to be an issue for the folks out there fighting the fire. And we got a lot of heat here across Central California. We're going to be seeing that heat warning take place through the Central Valley, as we're going to see those temperatures hit the mid 90s today. So, and we got, okay, the other area here is we're dealing with a lot of flooding situation here along the Mississippi River, as we've had a lot of heavy rainfall here as well through different parts here. There's a lot of heavy rainfall from big thunderstorms we've been having, and ongoing thunderstorms in this current area right now is producing a lot of situations where the rivers are overflowing from runoff from those thunderstorms. So the Mississippi is going to be running high down to the Mississippi Delta down there. So we're going to be dealing with that situation from the numerous thunderstorms that we've had the last day and that what we're seeing currently today. So that is a look at the watches and warnings and different hazards taking place across America. Oh, here across the Northeast as well, we have some flooding and a severe thunderstorm watch in place right now for the Northeast, as you could be bracing for some severe weather later this afternoon. So here, as we take a look at our drought situation, okay, so we're doing good out east. It's just a tale of two halves here. The eastern half of the nation is doing fairly well as far as drought conditions is concerned. We've seen plenty of rainfall, especially here into the Northeast and the Ohio Valley and the upper Midwest. There's a couple of places right here through Iowa that's going to start to pick up drought conditions where it's starting to get kind of dry. And not too long ago, maybe a week or so ago, there was a thunderstorm here through parts of it came through South Dakota and Nebraska, right in this region here, that kicked off a haboob. And this time of the year, in this part of the country, so it's very dusty and dry out there. And one of those big dry thunderstorms kicked off a haboob. It actually became a derecho. So that derecho was preceded by a tremendous dust storm that kicked off that haboob and spread dust all through the upper Midwest in the northern plains that day. I think it was about a week ago that we saw that severe weather and that dryness up there really come to a head as to how dry it's been. But we're going to see those drought conditions continue through the end of the month, through about August. So through August 31st, we're going to be continue and see those drought conditions. And we're going to talk about one of the causes for that drought conditions as to why we're still going to be continuing with these drought conditions. So what we're going to talk about now is the El Nino and La Nina, the southern oscillation. So here's what our sea surface temperatures have been looking like for May. Those sea surface temperatures here across the equatorial Pacific, and here is Ecuador and Peru here, South America, continue to be below average here. So we are looking at those temperatures continue to be about 1 to 2 degrees below average. So we're going to continue with those La Nina conditions through the equatorial Pacific here on the eastern Pacific toward the Americas here. We're going to continue to see those cooler than average sea surface temperatures, which does in turn affect the weather and climate across North America and many parts of the world here with those sea surface temperatures. And here's a look at our anomalies. Now here is the different region, El Nino regions. They break the ocean up into sect quadrants so that we can look at the different patterns going on. And here we have the Nino 4, the Nino 3.4. I think this is probably the one that really pertains to North America here. Then you have this region, the region X here, and you have 1 and 2 of the Nino, and you see predominantly as we go through have been moving through this year so far, we've been seeing that below average sea surface temperatures by as much as 2 full degrees, pretty much all over the place here. We've been seeing those sea surface temperatures below average toward the equatorial Pacific or toward up towards South America. There, we've been seeing those sea surface temperatures well below average. This is a pretty decent El Nino, and this is our second full year of El Nino. So I think, in my opinion, I would love to do a paper on this and do some research, because I think El Nino tends to be more, not El Nino, I think La Nina tends to be more persistent than El Nino. El Ninos kind of come and they're more fickle, where La Nina certainly seems to be more robust and able to hang on, because we're going to look at some things that I want to talk about here as far as these sea surface temperatures and what they mean to our weather here in America. So as we take a look at this, what we're seeing is the equatorial, this is the upper ocean surface pattern. Here we are here. Now this here, let me stand over here. Here is our sea surface temperatures right here. We get this and we get above average. This is our mean right here. This is above average. So we are looking at, so back in July of 2021 in June, we were above average slightly. We were about a half a degree to 3/4 of a degree in Celsius above average. Then we went INSO neutral at about the July point here, but then we had a very strong La Nina develop through the 2021. Through about October, we got down to almost 2 degrees below average. So we got about 1.8, 1.75 degrees below average. Then we had a slight warm up here in February of 2022, but here we are back into those La Nina conditions again. So here's our equatorial sea surface temperature anomalies in degrees. Here's the Celsius. Here we are looking at the this is our longitude, our lines of latitude. Here we got 50, or down to, well, actually here 130 east to 80 west. So this would be where South America is. Here's Australia and New Zealand and Southeast Asia, Indonesia. Here's where they are, and you see what's happening here. They have those above average temperatures in this area. So in the Western Pacific, they're dealing with above average. So we're seeing a lot of heavy rainfall through India with the monsoons. We've seen a lot of flooding across Australia, a lot of problems with excessive rainfall on the Western Pacific. But here in the Eastern Pacific, we've been seeing a lot of drought because of the La Nina conditions. And here we are with our sea surface temperatures, how they are below average in here and going on the Pacific side. And we've been about 1 to 2 degrees Celsius below our average sea surface temperature that we should be for this time of the year. So we can see that it's been really bad. And here's a better view of what I'm talking about here as far as those sea surface temperatures. I know this is a little sciencey, but this is important stuff, because our climate and everything has a lot to do with it. And climate change is certainly, I think, playing a role with how persistent the sea surface temperatures have been with, as far as La Nina is concerned. I think climate change is playing a definite role in making the La Nina conditions be more persistent, as we're now going to exceed 2 full years of La Nina conditions, which is very unusual. La Nina and El Nino cycles usually tend to last anywhere from 6 to 12 months. But now we're exceeding 18 to 19, maybe even 20 months. Might see 2 full years of La Nina here. So here's our Western Pacific, that above average temperature, that pool of warm water is here. So they're going to see Australia there, and you're going to continue to see excessive rainfall, especially across the Queensland area of Australia. Northern Australia has really seen some excessive rainfall, and we have that cooler temperatures here across the off the coast of Mexico here in South America, we're seeing that below average temperatures, that percentage there below average. Okay, this is what's important here. Here's the weather patterns that we see across North America when it comes to El Nino and La Nina. Here's where we are with La Nina right now. This is what we're doing with. Here is our polar jet stream here, goes way above this ridge of high pressure out over the northern Pacific here in the Aleutian Islands area of Alaska and Canada. In this bulge here, we've been seeing that P&A be extremely positive. So we've been seeing huge blocking ridge here. And that blocking ridge also extends across the western half of the United States. So it's been creating the conditions where storms have been deflected into Alaska and Canada. So they've seen a lot of cooler, a lot more wet conditions here across Alaska, have seen a wet winter, a lot of cold, a lot of snow across Alaska. But we've been seeing it dry across the southern tier of the United States and the desert Southwest because of that precipitation is deflected north into Canada and comes down over the leeward side of the Rockies and into the northern plains. We've been seeing those Alberta Clippers all winter. We're still kind of sort of in that same pattern that we saw over the winter. The only difference being that the sun angles are so much stronger now. It is warmer, so instead of so many snowstorms, we're seeing that snowstorm now across the northern Rockies here, but we're seeing a lot of thunderstorms now because we're seeing those colder storms come down out of Canada, and they're still able to tap into tropical moisture off of the Gulf of Mexico, and it's that battle between that cold and warm that creates the stage for those really bad thunderstorms. So we're going to continue to see those severe thunderstorms and tornadoes break out across the Midwest and the upper Midwest this winter, as we have a lot of these ingredients in place here thanks to your La Nina. And with El Nino, what you get is the polar jet stream is weaker and the subtropical jet stream is stronger, so it makes a beeline straight off the Pacific right onto the west coast, bringing that severe weather and rainfall to the west coast. And my fan, once again, is making my eyes water. All right, so here's our El Nino pattern. You get that low pressure here predominantly that is going to keep an onshore flow across the west coast. So you're going to see what we call the Pineapple Express a lot, and it's that tropical moisture fetch coming from the central and southern Pacific into the west coast. So we'll see a lot more rainfall across the southwest. Now, it tends to be warmer here across the northern plains and Canada because of how air flows around low pressure like this. So it's going to pump in warmer air from the southern latitudes here into the northern areas of the United States and Canada. So you're going to see cooler, warmer temperatures here. But you will see cooler here across the Thunder Bay and the more northeast area because of the change in the positioning of the polar jet stream. So that is the look of the El Nino and La Nina situation as we know it as of today. Now let's take a look at our severe weather. All right, so our severe weather outlook for today, we're going to be seeing those severe thunderstorms here across Michigan, all the way down into Texas, so down to the Mexican border, up into Michigan, near the Canadian border. We're going to be seeing some scattered severe thunderstorms to isolated severe thunderstorms. Large hail, damaging winds, tornadoes, and flash flooding is going to be possible in all of this area here. And this little area here, we're going to be seeing that severe weather, large hail, and damaging winds possible. Now, yesterday we saw that hail across Minnesota and Iowa and Wisconsin. You're going to be seeing it today across Michigan as that system that brought all that weather to the upper Midwest yesterday moves into the Great Lakes. Here is tomorrow's look. Here we have this long area of isolated severe weather we're going to be seeing from Texas from San Antonio all the way into the northeast, Cleveland, about all the way to Cleveland. We have Pittsburgh, Buffalo, New York, all the way up to Maine. They're going to be dealing with the possibility of isolated severe weather for your Saturday. All right, so here's a look at our Cape this afternoon. So we have about 1,000 to 1,500 jewel Cape here across parts of the upper Midwest and the northern plains here. So we're going to be seeing this area is our prime area for thunderstorms this afternoon. We'll see a lot of thunderstorms across this area today as we have several fronts in the area that's going to provide the focus for showers and thunderstorms to develop this afternoon. Here's our SIN, our convective inhibition, and this is a lot of Cape that these storms are going to have to fight through today. But in the areas where we have those triggers, like where we have a couple frontal boundaries here, we got one here that's going to provide the focus for those showers and thunderstorms. But we're going to see showers and thunderstorms pretty much predominantly through this area, but not as severe. Here's our severe areas here. We got here, here, and here is going to be our severe areas. And this is the Cape that those storms is good. Not the Cape, but the capping that those storms are going to have to fight through. And then we have and then here is our supercell composite, and this is just a combination of different parameters that can be conducive for supercell development. So we're looking at a lot of 12 to 18 potential for supercell. So this is the area, especially here across Oklahoma, is where we can see some rotating supercell thunderstorms. This is probably the best bet today to see rotating supercells down here across central Oklahoma. All right, here's your regional forecast. So we're going to go region by region for the next 2 days across America here. All right, so here we are. Here's our cold front here and our secondary area of low pressure. That's going to provide the focus for that severe weather that we're going to be seeing across a good portion of Michigan today. You'll be seeing that severe thunderstorms this afternoon. A few showers here from the secondary low, this secondary cold front here across northwestern Minnesota. Might be cold enough for a few snowflakes to show up in that as well. So we're talking about the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes here in the Ohio Valley. Nice weather here across the Ohio Valley and the parts of the Tennessee Valley today through Kentucky. We'll see nice weather today for that area before that severe weather moves your way. Here's what we're going to be seeing tomorrow. A little bit, that severe weather drops a little bit further south. So we have Illinois, southeastern Iowa, as well as north central Missouri and Indiana and Michigan as well. Once again, could be seeing those strong showers and thunderstorms. Maybe some severe weather is going to be possible along this cold front for your Saturday as well. Here we are in the Northeast. So in the Northeast, we're talking about some scattered showers and thunderstorms today. Our severe weather threat is going to be here across central Pennsylvania. So we got Allentown and Harrisburg is going to be in that primary threat for severe weather. Possibly might reach Philadelphia as well. But this is the area where we're going to be seeing those showers and thunderstorms for your Friday. As well as tomorrow is concerned, a much quieter here across the east. We'll see a few showers here across northern Maine and maybe here around the Nantucket area and Cape Cod area of Massachusetts. Might see a shower offshore there, excuse me. So that's that wet weather that you're going to be seeing for your Saturday, but much quieter day across the east overall, at least the northeast. Here we are down the southeast this afternoon. Predominantly, we're going to be looking at this action down here across Florida. We got those that sea breeze bringing that heat moisture in off the ocean, and we're going to be seeing those thunderstorms pop up in the afternoon over the Everglades, and then we may see those sea breeze showers down by the beaches, South Beach in Miami, you might be seeing those showers. And none of those are expected to be severe. They're just those brief, heavy downpours you're used to seeing down there. But you will see stronger thunderstorms pop off here through the Everglades around Lake Kissimmee right there. We're going to be seeing those thunderstorms popping off in the heat of the afternoon, as well as along the Gulf Coast there. And then we have our frontal boundary here that's going to provide some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, and some of those could also be on the severe side. Here we are for your Saturday. This gets a little bit more energetic here. We got this area of low pressure, so we're going to be seeing those showers and thunderstorms apart across Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas, as well as in Illinois and Indiana. Going to be seeing those thunderstorms, even though that's not really that part of the South, but it is in the view of the map, so we're going to cover it again. And then we have this area here across the Southeast. It's going to be seeing those showers and thunderstorms as those low pressure centers and fronts get a little bit closer, so it's going to be enough to help lift the atmosphere and spark some afternoon showers. So we're talking post thunderstorms here across the Southeast for your Saturday. Now, as we get into the heat of the Southwest, we got the desert heat out here. We got this dry line down through central and west Texas there. We got the humid air here, dry air here. Here is our fire in New Mexico. So we do see these fronts hanging out around the fire. So it's going to kick up the wind a little bit. So it's going to become a little bit breezy here across the Southwest. But it will get a little bit cooler thanks to those cold fronts being nearby. So that's going to be a welcome relief for you guys down there, as we're going to be seeing those temperatures fall back into the 90s here across the desert Southwest. And much of the same for your Saturday. That front drops a little bit further into New Mexico. Here's where our fire is located right there. So it's going to help change those. You can see these isobars are a little bit tighter. That just means that's a little bit more wind blowing right there. So we're going to see those windy conditions, especially for eastern and northeastern New Mexico there, so that might fan those fire flames a little bit. So that might not be very helpful, even though it's going to be a little bit cooler, and dry conditions are going to continue here across the desert Southwest. Here is the Northeast for this afternoon, the Northeast, but the Northwest and the Northern Rockies. Here is the Northern Plains here, and the High Plains, and the Northern Rockies, and the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to be dealing with this big snowstorm here. So we have this complex weather system dropping heavy snow across Colorado, Maine, not Maine, I keep saying, I got the Northeast stuck in my head. So we got Colorado and Wyoming here, Montana, Idaho, going to be picking up that heavy snow, some thunderstorms as well, a lot of high winds. So it's just a mixed bag of a not so pleasant weather unless you want to go skiing. So it's going to be a lot of fresh powder for the skiers out there. But if you're driving a truck, trying to get your loads to the West Coast, you're going to have to fight through some of this nasty weather out there through the high plains and the northern Rockies. And more of the same for your Saturday as it drops a little bit toward the south and east. So Colorado is really going to get hit hard by that heavy snow for your Saturday, and plus a little bit more for you folks in southeastern Wyoming, so you'll be dealing with that snow. But it's going to start to calm down for Idaho and Montana and the Pacific Northwest, and over here in Northern California, as well as Nevada and Utah, is going to start to settle down for you folks as that storm starts to move out into the plain states. But it's going to bring some snow even into Nebraska and Kansas in late May. But that severe weather is going to ramp up as well. So not good news for anybody out there by any stretch of the imagination. Here's our temperatures across America for the next couple days. Here's our cold air dropping down with those temperatures cold enough for snow across the northern Rockies and into the northern plains of Montana and the Dakotas and far northwestern Minnesota. We're going to see those temperatures cold enough for snow. We're going to see those 60s and 70s here through the boundary area of that, between those two areas of weather. We got our high pressure predominantly to the southeast here, where we're going to see those temperatures hit the 90s along the southeast coast there. So we're going to see a lot of 80s and 90s, 100s down here into Texas. We're going to see the 60s and 70s through the yellow regions here. So that's going to be kind of our boundary between this and this. And this here is going to be that catalyst for that severe weather, and where a lot of that severe weather is going to take place here. And we're going to continue to see those warmer temperatures across the southwest. But if you can see here, it's a little bit cooler. We're not seeing 100s degree temperatures this afternoon and evening. Maybe a couple here in Texas, but even in Texas, it's a little bit cooler than it has been, because we have seen these hit about 110 degrees. And here we are now as our weather moves a little bit toward the southeast now. So this gets pushed a little bit east. Here's our cooler weather. We're going to see those 50s now moving to the northern plains and the upper Midwest. That cold enough to snow temperatures is going to continue to kind of drop down through Colorado here. That's going to start to slide to the east here. This is going to move a little bit further to the east, but those warmer temperatures are going to rise higher into the northeast, and you're going to start to see summertime temperatures out here in the northeast for your Saturday, as we start to see 80s and 90s come as far north as the mid-Atlantic. So we're going to see those warm temperatures move east, and these colder temperatures drop to the south. All right, so that was a look at the regional forecast. Here's a real quick tropical outlook, because there's not really much to talk about with it, and my camera's acting funny, so we're going out here. I'm not happy with that. And the camera decided, come on camera, act right. All right, let's go to our next screen. Sometimes it depends on what screen I'm on, and then it acts right. All right, so here we are looking at the tropical Atlantic. Not much going on out here, just some extra tropical stuff. This is a cold front that was over the United States a week ago. Here it is now out over the Atlantic. This is going to suppress any tropical development that might want to develop out here. So nothing's going to happen over the next few days. Here we are with the Pacific. Again, here's the intertropical convergence zone. Nothing happening out here. Very quiet across the Pacific. So no development over the next couple of days. Here is the Western Pacific. There's Hawaii. Again, we have an extratropical system. Here's the low pressure and a frontal boundary. So again, no tropical development expected to happen with this, as this is moving toward the west a little bit. So that's not going to affect the Hawaiian Islands too much, and no tropical development expected at this time. So that was a look at the weather forecast for your Saturday, for your Friday and Saturday. And we talked a little bit about the problem with El Nino and La Nina and what we're seeing with that. And thanks for watching. Leave your likes, your comments, and your thoughts about this weather forecast and what you think. And you can also subscribe to the channel. My name is Julie Godot, and I'll see you guys in the next video.